Congratulations on the film. I saw it. I love your singing.
Thank you.
Your twang singing.
Thank you very much.
Are you as good as a singer as Tom Hiddleston? Do you know what I mean?
I don't actually know. I mean, I think it was. I had this amazing time before I shot the film in Nashville. I spent about 6 weeks in Nashville.
Yeah.
We shot it in Shreveport, actually, in Louisiana. And I stayed with a guy called Rodney Crowell, who is a respected musician and a great artist in his own right. And we just sang and played every day. And we started without the twang. Because he was like, you have to just get inside these words for yourself, you know. Saying, hey, good looking, and saying, I'm so lonesome I could cry. So I didn't have the twang, and then he kind of modulated my tone. Actually, there's a song at the end on the credits where we sort of agreed that it should be like half me, half Hank. Okay. So if you see it again, have a listen to that.
What was your favorite song to perform?
Ooh, I love Move It On Over.
Okay.
I think it's because it's the first one I learned.
Yeah.
And it just swings, you know. It was one of the only songs. It was one of about 4 or 5 songs I knew before I read the script. Yeah. And if you listen to Move It On Over, you can actually hear, like, Move It On Over was recorded in 1947. And Rock Around the Clock, it comes out about 8 years later, and you can hear it rhythmically and melodically. It's basically the same. And so it has this incredible kind of rocky, rock and roll rhythm to it, which just swings. Like if you play that, I've played that on stage in front of people, and people just start clapping. It's cool.
You were amazing, this performance. You just became, like, you couldn't tell the difference between you and Hank. So in that transformation, in learning about this person, real life person, and then having to bring him to life again, what did you learn about yourself?
That's an amazing question. I suppose I had to put myself through the paces he put himself through. I really related to his joy at performing. Like, I think he felt really, he felt that connection on stage with people. Just he loved it. He loved entertaining people. It's funny, you listen to his last concerts, and he used to do these kind of stand-up skits in between sets. And he was hilarious, like really witty, funny guy. And I loved that sort of, just the entertainer in him I really related to. And then I suppose there's an interesting tension in the film about being a professional, performer, and sometimes you go on stage and you
don't feel it.
You don't feel it. Well, you just personally, you're not having a great day, but you know you got to get out there and do your job, and in that sense, I feel connected to that because I've been in that spot where I've had to go out on stage and I've had a rough day, and you think, well, people paid tickets and they paid their money, and then they need to see a good show. So you find it within yourself to sort of to do that. So I found that interesting, and I don't know. I guess everybody's felt a little lonesome at one time or other, and I think Hank Williams is one of the most eloquent poets of that feeling.
You worked with Elizabeth Olsen, who plays Audrey.
Yeah.
I loved her portrayal as a woman because you didn't expect that in that time someone in her position would be so vocal about what she wanted.
Yeah, it's true.
Can you talk about your connection with her character and with Elizabeth and bringing that to life?
Yeah, I mean, Lizzie, I think, gives the most compassionate performance as Audrey. She was tough. I mean, there's no, like, you read what people had to say about Audrey. She was tough. She was a tough, strong woman, and in an
era where women weren't allowed to be.
Yeah, and by the way, he wouldn't have been who he became without her, because he had no head for business at all. She introduced him to Judd Collins, who introduced him to Fred Rose, who gave him his first publishing deal. So she was sort of pushing him to be more ambitious, and knew he had talent. And the difficulty was that she also thought she had the same talent, and she just didn't. If you listen to Hank and Audrey she just didn't quite cut it, to be honest. Like, but I think what Lizzie does so beautifully is that she kind of shows you how hard it is to be close to this man. That he's a firework, and He's uncontrollable. He has an uncontrollable charisma, and he has an uncontrollable temper, and an uncontrollable appetite, and an addiction. And she clearly loved him, and he loved her, but it was they damaged each other. And yet, Mark Abraham and Lizzie and I all believe that the sincerity of Hank's lyrics actually came from that relationship. You know, so when he sings in Cold, Cold Heart, he sings, "I've tried so hard, my dear, to show that you're my every dream. Yet you're afraid each thing I do is just some evil scheme. A memory from your lonesome past keeps us so far apart. Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart?" That actually this turbulent marriage is the thing that becomes the fuel for his greatest songwriting. You know, and that's the one that Tony Bennett went on to cover, and Ray Charles. And so I think Lizzie has been an amazing and compassionate defender of Audrey's legacy.
Thank you very much.